Hey everybody, Eric here coming at you today from Bloat Games, doing a very quick review of Esoteric Enterprises. I picked this up off of the Exalted Funeral website, and I highly recommend, if you haven't checked them out, to do so. They are one of the best curated collections of RPG and esoteric materials that you can find on the internet, and all their stuff that I've got so far I've been super pleased with, including Esoteric Enterprises. Spoiler alert, I like it. All right, so I'm just going to tell you real quick some of the things that I like. First off, Esoteric Enterprises is made by Dying Dynasty Games, which is Emmy Allen. Emmy did the writing, the setting, the layout, the rules. All of this is based on her work. She has, and I believe it's a her. Emmy, if you're a gentleman, I apologize. Or if you go by another pronoun, I apologize. But it's based off of. All right, so throwback to old school Dungeons and Dragons by Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax. The settings are very reminiscent of kind of World of Darkness type settings. It's modern world with Dungeons and Dragons rules. But the modern world has supernatural elements to it that may be known or may not be known. So basically, like I said, it sets you up for like the occult underground, the undercity. You got the men in black, paradox beasts, so a lot of supernatural beasts that you can deal with, things like that. What people don't know or why people don't know, all that type of stuff. A great section for advice for new players. And all that stuff. Real quick, character creation is 3d6 down the line. Your normal D&D attributes. It does give the option that if you roll terribly, you can have your character's doppelganger, and you can inverse all of your rolls. So an 18 becomes a 3, a 17 becomes a 4, and so on. It does have the modifier range of a -3 up to a +3. So it's very reminiscent of what I would refer to as the Mincer red box or the Back-Me red box, with some stuff added in here. Emmy does a great job of filling in the spaces that need to be filled in to run the game, this kind of game and campaign, the way that it needs to be done. Highest of marks for that. So now we're going to get into the classes real quick. And so we got bodyguards. You're going to have, let's see, criminals, which are going to replace your rogue type classes. We got doctors, all right, explorers, mercenaries. Mercenaries are your, let me make sure I didn't skip one. Yeah, mercenaries are your the most like just a straight up fighter in this game. We have mystics. All right, we have occultists. Occultists are kind of like, would be, I guess, like clerics. The closest thing that, I can think of that. And then, or clerics or druids or a non-wizarding magical thing. And then we have spooks. And now spooks can be all kinds of things. You can be like a lesser demon. You can be a wendigo. You can be a werewolf. You can be a vampire. All the type of stuff that you would find in like a kind of in a White Wolf game or Vampire the Masquerade or Werewolf the Apocalypse, that type of thing. This would be a very good way to emulate the show Supernatural or the show Grimm. You could do very easily do that with these. This does take a little bit darker take on it, but it's easy enough to do. It comes with all the stuff you need, all the bells and whistles as far as what's included. Tables to flesh out your character, the basic rules. Let's see, skills. So there is skills in this game, but the skills list is very limited. So here's the skills in totality. So you have athletics, charm, contacts, driving, forensics, medicine, perception, stealth, technology, translation, and vandalism. All right, and so if you do something that falls underneath one of those skills, then you would roll, and each skill is modified by a corresponding attribute. Okay, and it's listed under each section. Saving throws, you're going to have a save against stun, save against poison, save against hazards, and hazards are defined as are used against most sources of physical injury, flames, explosions, cave-ins, and so forth. They are modified by dexterity. Then you have save against machines, avoid dangers springing forth from man-made contraptions. Typically, they are to avoid booby traps, CCTV cameras, alarms, and other security devices designed to harm, deter, record, or capture the characters, and they are modified by intelligence. And then, of course, save versus magic. All right, this game is save or die, so you can have, depending on what you're doing, you can play it as save or die, or you can play it as things. Here's another thing that I wanted to touch on real quick is the application of horrible wounds. So in this game, instead of having just hit points, you have two different kinds of hit points. Okay, you got what's called grit and what's called flesh. And now grit's going to be your superficial stuff. So anytime that you just like scrape your arm, or you take a bruise, or you tear your clothes, or you stump a toe. All right, sorry about that. My battery went dead mid-talk. But what I wanted to touch on is you got two kinds of hit points. Okay, so you got your grit and you got your flesh. Your grit hit points are going to be your superficial wounds. So if you get a bruise, you get a scrape, stump your toe, that's going to take off of your grit. Okay, then your flesh hit points are going to be like if you get stabbed, shot, anything that cuts you or makes you bleed will come off your flesh hit points. Now, if your flesh reached down to 0, instead of instantly dying, the characters can instead suffer a specific horrible wound which may kill them either instantly or over time, or else which may leave them in dramatic injuries to their bodies and where their bodies are permanently mutilated. So this edition of this rule, horrible wounds, is a way to keep your characters possibly alive longer and to introduce new complications into them. I really like it. It separates it out into different types of damage. So you can receive a horrible wounds from ballistic damage, from ripping damage, from bludgeoning damage, from burns, from shocks, and from toxins. And each one, ballistic, ripping, all this stuff, each one has its own set of rules for how many damage you take. Flesh damage underneath 0 is based on how much damage is done to you and what type of a horrible wound you have. Really like that. It adds a lot to the game. All right, now going next, we're going to run into spooks and how to make spooks and what type of spooks there are, how to make their powers, general information for spellcasters, tables for spells going wrong, the spell list. The spell list is very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. There is a few things that are up there tweaked to give it a modern sensibility, but it's pretty much the same. Instead of spell levels, you have spell ranks. But aside from that, they operate pretty much as a normal spell would. Getting past here, you're of course going to have a full bestiary, which is very good, very well done. Gives you plenty of stuff to do. Has a lot of, this is what I want to get to, has a lot of great information. This is a really great game for running, an introduction to running RPGs. It does a great job of two things. One, introducing new players to the game, and two, introducing new game masters to the game and how to run it. This game is a rulings over rules. So the GM is in control of her table. Emmy, who wrote this game, does a great job of laying out how to do that. Gives a lot of things that you can use and have at your disposal to make your games go quicker. So then up next you're going to hit exploring the setting. So basically this is all setting information. So this is how you would run heists, things you got to look out for, things you got to be aware of. How do you break people out of prison? Rumors and events. You get to, it's very much OSR in attitude, so there's lots of tables. Hazards of the Undercity, gases, spores, slimes, water, all kinds of stuff for going underneath, sicknesses, curses, dangerous constructions. You got your treasure tables to roll on. I searched the body tables. All right. Magical weapons, magical items, random grimoires, specific magic items, and these are magic items kind of legend and lore. All right. And it's very cool because it's all very evocative of the setting that was created in this game. All right. Rolling up the Undercity. So this is a way to go through, and it's a kind of a city generator specifically for the sewers and the fairways underneath the cities. And as you can see, there's tons of options. Like I said, this does a great job for game masters, not just for new game masters. This is really does a great job for game masters in particularly. So you get past all that, rolling up the occult underworld. So this is what's going on in your world. Just because everything is here doesn't mean you have to use everything. You can pick and choose and make your own campaigns specific to your needs. But it gives all kinds of options to do that. And let's get back here. Occult weirdos, cults, intelligent undead, artificial constructs, ghostly things, fairy courts, lycanthropes, vampire broods, animals, chemical monsters, bugs, weirdness under the city, oozes. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So it's got, like I said, a full bestiary back here, covered with all kinds of stuff. Morlock packs, troglodytes, representatives of the lithic courts, aboleths, just all kinds of stuff. Paradox beasts. All right, paradox beasts are not. I wanted to say bugs because I'm looking at a picture of bugs, but no, they're actually monsters that come in a different various sizes and beings. There are things that are, let's see, let me give you the lead-in paragraph. So paradox beasts are various beings brought into existence when magic goes dangerously wrong. It's unclear if they are created by the magic itself, intruders, or of the other realms of existence, or formed by reality as a scar tissue against the damage done. What's clear, however, is that they are dangerous. So paradox beasts have their own special abilities. They can have a multitude of body types, and there are different things that you got to deal with as a ramification for things going wrong. You get to the back, we have Appendix in media, which is really good to let you know some stuff you can look into, like Lovecraft stuff. Let's see, Coffin Hill, The Goon, 100 Bullets, The X-Files, The Wire, all kinds of stuff. Games, Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft, Lamentation Flames Princess, Changeling of Dreams, Call of Cthulhu, Silent Hill, Tales from the Loop, Things from the Flood, Vampire the Masquerade, The Last Gasp Grimoire. Seriously, it's the best blog on the net. The Secret World, Fatal, Stalker, Veins of the Earth, just all kinds of stuff. Compatibility for running this in with other games. Full index. And then just kind of a list of tables and an outro by the author. All right, so I know I kind of flew through this, but I really wanted to be able to let y'all know that this is something that that I definitely think you should get. I believe it's around between $12 to $15 for the PDF on Drive-Thru RPG, or like I said, you can get the my dogs are going nuts. You can get the print version for $60 from Exalted Funeral. I highly recommend you check it out. This has been Eric from Bloat Games. Thank you for your time and patience, and have a good one. Bye.